Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So my friend wanted me, just kick the thing. So my friend wanted me, one of my friends requested for me to redo this look that I posted on Instagram. I'm loving this look at the moment. It reminds me of like Caribbean sunset. How I would love to be in the Caribbean right now. So yeah, I'm loving the look. I thought I'd put, sorry, excuse these, I haven't cut them off. And I am wearing a bandeau down here, I'm not naked. But yeah, it's very beachy, so I paired it with this lovely cardigan top thingy that I wear on holiday. But yeah, I love the look, and if you want to see how you get this look, guys, keep on watching. Bye. So I've done my brows off camera. And please excuse the head tie, guys. Yeah, sods and those edges, my god. Anyway, I'm going in with MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And I'm going to apply this all over my lid. This basically just cancels out any dark circles that I have, which I clearly have. I basically have pigmentation issues. Certain parts of my face, particularly when my eyes are darker, so I'm using this MAC paint pot just to give myself a blank canvas and to make everything just one colour, if that makes sense. I set it with the Mercier translucent powder and my Real Techniques setting brush. And then on top of that, because I feel like it was still a bit pale, I went in with medium tan just to kind of deepen out the colour a bit so that it looks more true to my skin complexion. I mean, it doesn't, but it just gives it more of a beigey tinge as opposed to a white one. So I'm going in with that light brown shade that I just showed you in and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. So I'm putting that above the crease. Oh, I'm having a bit of a sing-song there. So I'm popping that above the crease and just blending it in until I'm happy. And then I'm going to go in with a warmer colour, still a brown colour. And I'm going to apply this in my crease, directly into the crease. And I build it up until I'm happy with the colour. I go in with a burnt orange colour and I kind of tilt my brush upwards towards the brow so that it can be applied slightly below the colour that I put directly into my crease. I just like that gradient effect, so I thought, why not? So yeah, so then next I'm going to apply my a darker orange using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that's in the actual palette. I'm going to apply that and pack that all over the lid on both sides until I'm happy with the intensity of that orange. I'm then going to blend it out with using the opposite side of the brush. It's like a little blending brush, so blending out all those harsh edges. So once I've done that, I'm going to go in with a dark brown shade and just pack that onto the outer corner of my eye. I didn't want it to be too harsh, so I don't know if you can see, but I went in with a little light taupe colour, that colour there that I'm applying, and just to kind of, you know, lighten it a bit so that it's not so harsh and it's so much of a deep brown. Going back in with my blending brush just to blend out those harsh edges, just so that it's just a bit smoother, because I didn't want anything to be sharp today. I wasn't going for that sort of look. Now I lost my transition shade, which I tend to do a lot, so I'm going back in and putting that back up into like above the crease with my blending brush. So now I'm going to use the Barry M Dazzle Dust. Sorry guys, I have it upside down, but it is the number 96, which is like an orangey mustardy colour. And I'm putting this colour on the inner corners of my eye and kind of brushing it upwards into the crease so that, I don't know, I just like that sort of, it's more of a rounded, giving it more of a round edge to it, so I'm kind of rounding the edges. Yeah, so I kind of brush it up into the corners until I'm happy. So next I'm going to go in and line my wing liner, but the liner that I'm going to use is Chestnut as opposed to my black Inglot one. So I didn't want my wing liner to be so dark, so I went in with a brown for that reason. But this brown is quite warm, you can see that little orange tinge to it. So I'm going to basically go in with a eyeshadow that's slightly darker and slightly cooler to cancel out that warm tone. So I'm going to be using from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette that brown that I used in my outer crease. Yeah, so following that, I'm going to conceal these dark circles. So I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal colour correcting, thingy in orange, burnt orange, and I'm just blending that out as usual, just so that I don't look crazy when I apply my foundation. So I decided to, obviously I love my glow, so I'm basically mixing two colours. That Revlon, I'll put the full name of it down in the description box, and my Cover FX one, which I always use. I'm mixing the two colours together and just applying it, just dotting it all over the face. So I mix the two together and then dot it all over the face and then blend it in. I wanted to use a buffing brush, I couldn't find it, so I ended up using my Real Technique sponge. So I applied my eyelashes off camera. I've worn these before, but for some reason I've noticed that the edges, or maybe it's just how I had worn them before, but I thought I had them on backwards. I wasn't sure, but then eventually it looked okay. So I'm applying my Nars luminous foundation in the shade Tahoe, and I'm using my Real Techniques buffing brush, which is the one that I wanted initially. I found it, I'm using it to blend out my foundation so that it's, evenly distributed across the face. Yeah. So I noticed in this tutorial I didn't use much of my Fix Plus to make myself all nice and dewy. Sad times. So I go back in with my beauty blender, just to kind of make the look a bit more flawless and get rid of all of those brush strokes and streaks and lines and stuff. So now I'm going in with my Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the colour Biscuit, I believe it is. So I apply that under my eyes, on my nose, on my forehead, on my cupid's bow, and on my chin. And I am going to do a cream contour today. So I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I can't remember the shade, I will list it down below. So I apply it in the usual areas that, you contour. So the cheeks, the forehead, the nose. And I start by blending out my highlight, and then once I am happy with my highlight and happy with it all blended out, I then go in with my buffing brush by Real Techniques to buff out my contour, and it came out alright. I'm not good with this sort of thing usually. I just kind of stick to powders because it's quick and easy, but yeah. So I'm now just setting my under eyes. Again, I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I apply the majority of it closest to the nose and then distribute the remainder of the product out. But I don't really bake too tough, like too heavy. So I'm going in to set my cream contour with my NYX highlight and contour palette, Pro palette. So I used the shade that I showed you, and I'm just buffing that in. Oh, I think I did apply a bit of contour underneath the chin. I forgot to blend it out, so that's what I was just doing there, and I'm just setting that with the bronzer, the same NYX bronzer. So I'm gonna remove I kind of did bake just for a short period. Oh look, I forgot to set my nose as usual and my forehead. So I've just done that. So I'm just going to use, wipe off the excess of the Laura Mercier powder, but I'm using the Ben Nye banana powder to remove the Laura Mercier powder. This just makes my skin look a bit more warmer as opposed to ashy. I don't like that white ashy look, and yes, the powder does eventually warm up and you don't eventually look like that, but I found that there was a time I went out and I just looked like a ghost, so I do that now. So yeah, I'm just finishing off my bronzing and my contouring, the contour setting with the powders. I think I went in with a deeper shade in my cheek contour just to kind of bring up my contour a bit more. I think that's what I was doing. So now I'm just brightening up under the eyes a bit more. So I've gone in with that banana, or yellow should I say, banana looking shade under the direct, like just a bit below, you know, the crease of my eye, just on the cheek itself. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm just doing the bottom, my bottom lid. So I'm using the shades that I used on my top lid in my crease area, and I'm just mixing them all together. Basically, I'm starting off with that warm shade that I used, which was the second shade that I used, and then I went in with that dark brown, which is currently on my outer corner, and then I also went in with a bit of the orange that's actually directly on my lid. So and I focused the orange more towards the inner corner, but not directly in the inner corner, just like 2/3 of the way in. Yeah, a third, a quarter, a third of the way in, a third, 3/4. I don't know, sorry guys, I'm terrible. But yeah, so I'm just blending that all in, making sure that the colours kind of blend in smoothly and transition really smoothly. I'm going to use a bigger blending brush, there we go, just to blend everything out so that it doesn't look harsh. You know, I put some Barry M, the Dazzle Dust in the directly in the inner corners. So now what I'm doing is lining my lid with the same brown that I used to do my wing liner. So it's the Chestnut pencil, lip pencil, but I'm putting it in my waterline. And then I'm going to use the telescopic, L'Oreal telescopic mascara, just to, you know, make it look like I have lashes at the bottom, you know. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going in with my blush, and it's a NYX, I think it's a baked blush, I'm not sure. I will leave the full name in the description down below, but I love it. It's got like a little highlight section and like a, you know, a normal blush section. Yeah, so I'm just applying the same highlight, the two products that I used on my face before I applied my foundation. I'm applying to the highest points of the cheeks. Again, I mixed the two colours together and I blended it out using that brush. I'm now applying some champagne pop just to make it pop, just to make my highlight pop that teeny bit more. I just love it. Look guys, look. And then I get the same brush, the buffing, Real Techniques buffing brush, just to blend out those harsh lines, because I don't like the look of those harsh lines anymore. So yeah, so now it's time for my lipstick. Now this lipstick looks red, and my sister said that I need to stop doing looks with a red lip, but it's actually orange. It's called Chili, and it's like a burnt orange. It doesn't look like that on camera though, it looks red, which is very annoying, that colour. Anyway, so this is the finished look guys. I hope you like it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and so don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and until next time guys, take care, bye. Look like I got a mop on my head. I'm so doing my cousin right now. Cassandra, this one's for you.
and I get the job done. Yeah, I'm Abigail's youth, but I'm God's son. But I'm up now, look at what God's done. No real talk, look at what God did. On the main stage, right?
Don't know the lyrics.